Welcome back to Roughing It. Savannah. Say the name and there's music playing. Or maybe that's actual music playing. A lively city. It's so beautiful even the ruinous forces of the Civil War left it intact because of its distinct gentility. A town of secret speakeasies, pirate hangouts, and cinematic cemeteries, all framed under a pretty sky. It's also very dog-friendly. Savannah is a walking town, so expect to walk. Savannah has its own parking app called Park Savannah to help you keep track of the meter. Savannah has a nuanced history, with River Street typifying its historic district. You can't miss the sweet shop with the smell of the city's famous pralines wafting through the air. River Street connected the docks and wharves of Savannah's busy port with the business offices several stories above on Bay Street. You can climb the several centuries-old stairs to reach the city level. Savannah is the first for a lot of things. First, for a city grid plan, it's one of the few cities that has the same layout as it did in colonial times, with 22 of the original 24 park squares still present. Most of the squares feature historical events, monuments, markers, memorials, statues, plaques, and other tributes that make up the overall narrative of the city. Savannah has the first African Baptist church and Jewish synagogue in the South, and you don't have to be religious to admire the churches. There's also a free art museum at Savannah College of Art and Design. Savannah is the birthplace of famed Southern writer Flannery O'Connor. She's been called the voice of Southern Gothic fiction. She would have been a good woman, the Misfits said, if it had been somebody there to shoot her every minute of her life. Actor Tommy Lee Jones wrote his thesis at Harvard on Flannery O'Connor. Her posthumously compiled complete stories won the U.S. National Book Award in 1972. We just went by Flannery O'Connor's childhood home, and now we're gonna try to find the Girl Scout first headquarters. The Girl Scouts originated in Savannah. Being a Gold Award recipient for the Girl Scouts, I would be totally remiss if I did not come and see the first Girl Scout headquarters. In many ways, had I not been in the Girl Scouts and had the extensive wilderness training, the trip would not have been possible. You can see Juliet Lowe, founder. Juliet Lowe led a fascinating life. After meeting and becoming inspired by war hero and founder of the Boy Scouts, British General Robert Baden-Powell, Lowe originally started several troops in Scotland and England for girls of varying social classes. The effect on the girls' self-esteem was so tangible, Lowe decided to establish the program in the U.S., starting in her hometown of Savannah, Georgia. In the course of visiting the founder of the Girl Scouts, Juliet Lowe's birthplace, and the Girl Scout headquarters, Skylar became an honorary member of a visiting troop. Savannah boasts a varying cuisine, with some restaurants having alligator meat on the menu, and if you don't finish your cocktail, you can take it to go. Most eating places don't allow dogs, and finding alfresco dining is difficult during the hot, humid summer months. So we tucked into a tasty lunch at the Sixpence Pub on Bull Street. Beautiful city. Beautiful city. These people have taken care of their city. They have pride. I appreciate that. The beautiful architecture and dedication to historical preservation is not to be denied in Savannah. Starting in 1955, 7 courageous women established the historic Savannah Foundation to rescue the city from disrepair, fight modern commercial development, and protect the historic homes and buildings that make Savannah what it is today. The foundation has saved over 350 historical buildings to date. If you're gonna make your police station with style and history, 1869 to 70 is when it was built, police barracks, I appreciate that. Without these women, Savannah wouldn't be what it is today. Savannah is a city very much in touch with its roots. You'll find the tree-lined streets draped in Spanish moss, which is neither moss nor lichen, but a flowering plant. Taking no nutrients from the tree it grows on, the pervading humidity delivers all its nutrients in the water molecules in the air. I learned that at the Girl Scout headquarters. Humans have used Spanish moss for many purposes, from insulation, to weaving for clothes, to monitoring toxins in the air because of its ability to absorb airborne elements. You can pay a ticket on a narrated harbor sightseeing cruise, or you can take the Savannah Bells Ferry for free and ride along the Savannah River, taking in a good view of the Talmadge Bridge and River Street. Talk to anyone and you'll find the people are warm and friendly. And everywhere we went, people seem to love dogs. The best parts of Savannah can be enjoyed for very little money. So we're here, Lafayette Square. Thank God the weather has cooled down. Gonna go see some cemeteries. The cemeteries brim with stories of the past. We are at a corner of the Colonial Cemetery in Savannah, and just reading some of the epitaphs. There's so many stories in this cemetery, and so many people died young. It's kind of interesting, you know, grave markers, what's left of a person's life, chiseled into a piece of stone or interned into a sarcophagus. Which is kind of interesting. I was kind of curious to see how Skylar would react to the cemetery if she could smell anything. All she's interested in are the squirrels and if she can get them. Oh yes, she wants that squirrel. It's kind of interesting because it makes you think about your own mortality, because when you look around here, it's like, wow, some of these people are younger than me. They died younger than me. I mean, of course, there's also children, there's duelists, there's big military people, leaders of the colony. There's a lot of history. I mean, for America, we're still a young country, but this is as far back as our history goes, as far as, you know, being Americans. That's not including the indigenous people who were here before the European explorers, which is also part of our history as well. You're wondering what Skylar is doing at the cemetery. She's wrapping her leash around a stick and chewing on it. She doesn't know that Georgia's first printer and publisher of the newspaper is buried here. She doesn't care. Do you, Skylar? You got your leash tangled. What'd you do? If you're going to do Southern cemeteries, Bonaventure is not to be missed. Respect for the dead. I wonder how many species of plants are growing on this one oak. You got Spanish moss, ivy, palm, the tree itself. There's some vines. Frankly, it's beautiful. And I don't think it minds that there's dead people around. I really don't. Apparently, you're supposed to sit on that bench, have a drink, and pour it on the grave. I'm gonna try to see what I can do about that. I'm at the grave of Conrad Aiken, and apparently it's tradition, and I'm doing this only out of tradition, that you make a martini and pour a little bit of the vodka onto the grave. Well, I don't have a martini shaker, but I was able to locate vodka, I'm not gonna say from where, my cooler, and I am going to give the poet laureate of amazing talent a drink, and his parents a drink, who ended their lives in a murder-suicide by the father's gun. Apparently because of too much partying. I mean, that's what drove the father to shoot the mother and then shoot himself. But it created one hell of a poet. So here's to Conrad Aiken. I'm gonna go ahead and pour my vodka out. So we're going along Wilmington River, which is absolutely gorgeous, and we got a really, really good day of breezes and cool weather. It's such a gift, and it just makes this cemetery that much more beautiful. It really does. You can sit on the bench. 2016 Eagle Project. That's a good Eagle project, I'd say. Building a bench along this river, Wilmington River. You can see behind me is the cemetery. I mean, how much better can this get, really? Even the salt. The salt in the air is so delightful. Look at that cutie. Are you being cute? You're being cute, aren't you? Yes, you are. It's almost 5, so we gotta go. It's 5:02 and the cemetery closes at 5. But you know what? Except for the fact that we're away from the nightlife, if we end up spending the night in this cemetery, so be it. We made it out of Bonaventure in time and met some of the wildlife at Lake Mayer Park. Did you see a turtle? It's a city that lives up to its reputation of gentility, charm, and refinement. Savannah is one of those places that sings to the soul. I fell in love with the place and truly did not want to leave it. Reluctantly, we had to move on. Join us next time in South Carolina.